What is going on, everyone? Welcome to the Blazers Uprise Postgame show. I am Eric Brandt. I will be joined by Tory Jones via voice only tonight. We're going to try to make his microphone work. Hopefully it's not too bad for you, but we'll see if he can make it a little better. It was a little rough talking to him before the stream started. But I think hopefully my mic is working a lot better than last stream. I apologize once again for the first 20-plus minutes of that last stream where it definitely had a ringing to it. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I am very pissed off about this game. I felt like the Blazers, for the most part, outside of Deni Avdija, were just brutal in terms of their effort. Defensive schemes, coaches, everything was just very bad tonight. Very bad. And very frustrating. Video's choppy. Why is the video choppy today? Never get it fully going. Maybe it's because I'm on the call with Tory. He's going to let me know when he's ready to talk. But, I mean, Deni was awesome tonight. A couple other people were okay. Like Rob Will was okay off the bench. But for the most part, man, this team, they left a lot of points on the board. Should not have lost this game. Yeah, I don't know how to. I'm assuming my computer's running slow because I'm connected with Tory, but I don't know why. Suit frame. Sorry, I'm not literate enough on the streaming software to be able to fix stuff on the fly, so just gotta hope it works itself out at some point. Yeah, this game sucked, man. Hopefully Tori will be on in a minute to rant about it. Yeah, so all right, Tory wants to rant for a little bit. Let's see how he goes. Let me turn him on here. There you go. Tory, you're on. What's up, man? You went to the Kings game tonight. How was that? Before you get into
the Kings. Yeah, I went to the first half of the Kings game. I really like their stadium. I vlogged it. Vlog's going to be super cool. Can't wait to drop that. Left at halftime because they were up like 20-something. Just kind of wanted to see the arena and see the atmosphere. So that was cool. But I think maybe Discord is slowing down your computer, and that might be the issue with the camera, which, I don't know, shouldn't slow down your computer, but I know your computer can be kind of rough. So I'll be quick, and then I'll probably leave. I'm on I-5 in California right now. So my thoughts on this game, my main thought is Toumani Camara is just a bad NBA player right now, which sucks to say, but is the honest truth. He is hurting this team offensively. He's 2 for 11 from 3, and the defense is not good enough. His intensity on that end looked rough this game, and he's just not good defensively right now, and he's horrible offensively, and he's hurting this team. And Blazers outside of Deni Avdija go 4 for 28, which is 14%, which is awful. You need some shooters around him. It baffles me why this team shoots a bunch of threes and has the 6'9" walking paint touch who's playing like an all-star, but you can't get better shooters around him. So you have games where everybody else goes 4 for 28 from 3. You could see the defense loading up on Deni after Deni got going, especially in the fourth quarter where Deni was gassed. We're asking him to do a ton, and you have multiple defenders loading up on him because they don't have to respect Sidi Sissoko. They don't have to respect Chris Murray. They don't have to respect Ryan Repair. And unfortunately, right now, they don't have to respect Toumani Camara. They were leaving him open, and he could not make San Antonio pay. And it's a freaking travesty that he's playing so bad. But But yeah, that's kind of my lead thoughts. It's just you don't have enough shooting around Deni Avdija, and he's playing great. And Tamani Kamara is the letdown of the season so far.
Yeah, I thought the same thing watching this game, Tori. I was like, get this man a freaking guy who can hit a 3-point shot so he can get into the lane easier and not have the whole other team just completely pack the paint on him. It's ridiculous. How does this organization not see if we just had a knockdown 3-point shooter out there, things would be so much better for Deni Avdija, and he's already playing amazing. Just think how many more assists he'd have, how many more drives he could take without trying to take on three guys. If they just had a little bit better spacing on the floor, and instead we're playing like three G League guys who can't hit a shot, and we have Tamani all of a sudden can't hit a shot either. It's just it's sad, man, and it I thought that during this game, like literally, if we just had a shooter out there to space the floor, Deni probably would have had like 45 and 15 in this game.
Yep, absolutely agree. Caleb Love's not consistent enough right now shooting the three ball. City Sissoko's rough. Chris Murray's rough. Repair's rough. Tamani's rough. Robert Williams shot a three today. He's not a shooter. Like, the plan going into the season is we're going to feature Deni. Okay, that's going well. He's a star. You got the 6'9" walking paint touch. You want space for him. We're going to shoot a lot of threes. Why on earth is the rest of the roster such a bad shooting lineup? It's just a construction flaw, a roster construction flaw that we knew coming into the season was probably going to be the number one thing to hold this team back. And then you have a game like this team, if they win at home against a shorthanded Spurs team, no Wemby, they have a chance to go to the knockout stage of the NBA Cup, which would be really cool for this young team, and they completely blow it because they literally cannot shoot. They literally cannot shoot, so they waste a golden opportunity to maybe take a step. I know it's just the NBA Cup, but making it to the knockout stage, making it out of this group of death would have been super cool for this team, and they freaking choked it because nobody can make a three outside of Deni Avdija. He made more threes than the rest of the team combined. So I am so bummed with the game that this team played tonight. I'm so frustrated. I'm sitting here in the middle of the night on I-5 in the middle of Northern California, and all I can think about is how bad the Portland Trailblazers were tonight outside of Deni Avdija, who's freaking great. He needs more help. He needs more shooting. Joe Cronin has to start valuing shooting because he's never really valued that archetype. That's why City Sissoko's on a two-way. So, I know City got hot recently, but he's not a good shooter. Too many bad shooters on this team. Joe Cronin has to start valuing shooting at some point, right?
Yep. So Deni went 5 for 8 from 3. The rest of the team 4 for 28. 14.3% if you round up. Jeez, man, that's so bad. 14.3%. Man, it's sad, man. We had a golden opportunity to have like a really cool bright spot, even if this season doesn't turn out the way we're hoping. And it would have been cool to have just like a win right now, to something we can be proud of this team for. And quite honestly, I was disgusted by some of the defensive effort in this game as well, and including the defensive game plan by the coaches. Tamani, I saw him give up on 3 plays in the second half, just completely give up on a play and let a guy go right by him, and then just stand there while the guy drove. And that's not who Tamani is. Maybe something's going on with him or something, but this is not the effort of a player that is an all-defensive player and someone who deserves an $80 million contract, man. It was quite frankly pathetic to watch him out there giving piss poor effort, because he's a guy who has to give 100% effort to be effective out there. And if he's not, and then he's also missing all his shots on the other end, it's just brutal for this team, man. And you need him to step up with all these injuries. And, he's had a game or two recently where he's been okay, but, man, you cannot have someone that you're relying on like Tamani be this poor on both ends of the court and give that kind of effort when he's supposed to be your effort energy guy.
1000%. I don't know what happened to him, man. I mean, this could just be a shooting slump at the start of the season, but he doesn't look confident on either side of the floor right now. He does not look confident on either side of the floor. Honestly, he's probably playing worse than he did at the start of his rookie season. So we talk about player development and young guys getting better. And, if you lose games, but you're on the right path in terms of developing your roster and developing players, it's completely fine. But Tamani's taken such a major step back in every single area. He still doesn't look good driving the ball. He still looks completely unsure when he puts the ball on the floor. I'm losing confidence in that ever being a major part of his game. But that's fine. He's supposed to knock down threes. He shot 37% last year. He's supposed to knock down threes. He's supposed to defend. Coming into the season, he felt like he was a better shooter than he was last year. Other people felt like he was a better shooter than he was last year. Instead, he's much, much, much worse to the point where San Antonio guarded him like a non-threat, like a
Like it
non-shooter.
was Chris
San
Murray.
Antonio guarded him like we were, yeah, like Chris Murray. They were guarding him like we were guarding Jeremy Sohan
Yep.
in this game, where you wanted him to shoot. It's really, really bad if Tamani becomes a guy where defenses want to shoot. And that's what you saw in this game. And that means Deni has no spacing because you got Klingon out there. I know Klingon's been shooting a decent three ball lately, but he's a big man. He's supposed to play in the dunker spot on the interior, right? You have City Sissoko starting. I mean, Shane Sharpe didn't make a three today. Couldn't see him back, but he still, just is not a 3-point shooter at all. So that's the thing is like when Tamani's making threes, it gives the Blazers the other shooter that they need outside of Jeremy Grant. And, it'd be nice to have Drew Holiday, but when Tamani's making threes, it makes the offense run a lot better just because a lot of other guys can't step up and make threes. And we don't expect Chris Murray, City Sissoko to make threes. Shaden Sharpe, we know his shooting struggles. Tamani's supposed to be that guy that's shooting 36, 37%. He's not supposed to be the guy that teams are daring to shoot. And then when he's not contributing, not slowing anything down on the other side of the ball, like it's getting to a point where the Blazers, if they underachieve this season, and in instances where they've underachieved so far, Tamani Kamara has been a big reason why. And I don't want to, just sit here and pick on the dude the entire time here, man. But it's just such a disappointment given the expectations. I don't think he's the type of guy to just be satisfied because he got a contract. So I don't know what's going on. I don't think it's that. He doesn't seem like that type of mentality, but I don't know how else to explain it because it's obviously mental on both sides of the floor, and I don't know why or how that happened. What's your best guess as to why Tamani's struggling like this?
I still think he's not getting. I mean, he's getting it sometimes, but it's not at the rate he was getting the. Oh, I'm gonna fight through this screen and act like I got bumped really hard and flop and sit down on the ground. Um, he's not getting that call as much as he was last year, and I think he's chasing like this mythical number. And I really believe he's just he thinks he has to like overplay and overpressure, but it's leading to him getting blown by every time. And speaking of that, the game plan on Fox was stupid, man. And I was gonna say this before the game even started. You do not speed that guy up. You do not overpressure him to force him like to go by you. Like it's just dumb, and that's exactly what Tamani did. And then we put Grant on him, and he did the same freaking thing. And we never changed our coverage to try and double him or blitz him out of a screen or whatever. And I just thought that was stupid. And I feel like Tamani's not getting through screens. He's not keeping anyone in front of him in isolation because I think he's overplaying. And I feel like I don't know what he can do to fix it other than to just tell him to like calm down, take a step back from the offensive player and just play straight up defense and not try to do turnovers. But like we know that our whole defensive identity is based around forcing turnovers. So like I feel like they're telling them to be over aggressive to try and force these turnovers, but tonight we don't really force that many turnovers and we commit a bunch of stupid ones, and then it snowballs. So I feel like he's like the the focal point of that, where it's just way too aggressive of coverages, and he's stuck out there guarding someone at half court that's just going to blow by him every time, and it's stupid to keep doing it. And yet here we are with our coverages doing the same thing over and over.
Yeah, and one of the problems with the way we're deploying him, I absolutely agree with everything you said. One of the problems that I'm seeing is he has to expend so much energy because teams are inbounding it to their point guard, especially a guard like De'Aaron Fox, and then setting a screen in the backcourt that Tamani gets hit with, and that downhill usually. Usually it's a center setting a screen in the backcourt. His back is to the rim, so it allows the guard to go downhill off of it. And it's impossible for Tamani to get through that screen and keep up with a fast point guard. And he has to expend so much energy just to do so, and it's not generating turnovers. It's basically just like, all right, here, we're going to make Tamani expend a crap ton of energy picking up full court, trying to fly through the screen. And a lot of times, he's not going to be able to effectively do so, and the result is you have a guard flying downhill at a big man with a ton of space in front of him, and that forces help, that forces rotations, and our defense becomes broken down for literally no reason other than we just want to live up to the idea that we're going to pick up full court and invent a new way of defending in the NBA. It's not working, and against De'Aaron Fox, it's one of the dumbest things. He's maybe the fastest guard in the league. That's the last thing you want is Tamani picking up full court and then getting hit with a screen in the backcourt, and now De'Aaron Fox is flying at your big man or flying at whoever. It's a terrible strategy, and I mean, I was laughing at Caleb Love trying to guard Dylan Harper full court in the backcourt and just getting blown by, and the Blazers being forced into rotations, and it gave up a wide open three to Harrison Barnes. Like, there's just so many plays that the Blazers have issues with because they're trying to live up to this identity, and it doesn't matter who they're playing. It's not adjusted for the personnel, which is ridiculous, and it's not particularly effective. They're not forcing turnovers at a high rate anymore. They're not getting out and running at a high rate anymore. I've been saying this. They need to fall back and be more fundamental defensively, but especially in a game like this where they don't have Wemby, they have De'Aaron Fox. That's the guy you have to try and slow down. And then we play a defensive strategy that plays into his hands. It gets him flying downhill in space with Tamani stuck playing behind him because he got screened. Like, it's just stupid basketball, and it's, I think, an indictment on this coaching staff. I've been patient with them, but I don't know how you can go into a game like this with that game plan and think that that's going to be effective, and it obviously wasn't.
Yeah, and then you combine that with freaking Jeremy Grant. I know he got fouled on it, but shooting a three with 7 seconds left on the clock when we're in a situation where we can run for last shot, and then they get a three on the other end. It's just like they're playing such dumb basketball in this game, and it was so aggravating to watch them do all these things you said and not make any adjustments. And here we are in the fourth quarter. Instead of like, okay, fourth quarter, time to make a run at this game. Let's take Fox out of this game and make someone else beat us. Instead, he has his best quarter of the game and completely buries us. And like, where was the adjustment? Where was the effort to make sure he didn't beat us after it was clear that he was having his way through three quarters? It's just, I don't understand what this coaching staff sees sometimes.
Fully agree. Fully agree. That's my thoughts on that, if you want to go to your next talking point.
Yeah, Grant pissed me off tonight too. As good as he was last game, being aggressive, driving strong, getting fouls, and maintaining his balance and getting to the free throw line, I felt like today it was like a I don't give an F game. Like, he just was driving and just kind of throwing up crap that he wasn't going to get foul calls on because he was completely off balance. And it just seemed like he did not care at all about this game, and I was disgusted by his performance today too.
I wish we had the Grant we had last game. The Bucks game, which I caught some of the highlights of, but he played super aggressive. He had that nice dunk, man. That was cool, but yeah, the energy was weird tonight. The energy was weird. It was
almost like
strange.
They were too
like
nervous.
They had a like the moment was too big, but I mean, it's the NBA Cup. This is why I think the NBA Cup is good for young teams, because it gives them a chance to play for something. And you would think they would come out and just play with great overall effort, and they didn't. The effort was poor. They gave up a million offensive rebounds. And Grant was a big part of that as well. Um, don't really understand why. You would think they would play their asses off for a chance to go to Vegas, but they
You
didn't.
you could tell Deni wanted it, but it really seemed like everyone else was like puckering up and kind of wilting in the moment. Um, but
I,
man,
I will say, Denny, Klingon, and Rob Will were the only players I didn't really have an issue with in terms
yeah,
of their intensity, effort, or play.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we got. I mean, not that we should be relying on any of these guys, but we got absolutely nothing from Sissoko, nothing from Caleb Love. Love was probably a negative out there, or not probably, he was tonight. Nothing from
Everybody
Repair.
wanted to say "I told you so." Everybody wanted to say "I told you so" after that Warriors game, but that's literally the Caleb Love experience. One of every 5 or 6 games will play great, and then he hurts you the other 4 or 5 games where he's not shooting a hot three ball. He will hurt you, and he hurt this team today.
Yeah. And I forget who else. Yeah, Repair was bad. Pretty much all the guys we needed. We just needed. Chris Murray was bad, I thought, in this one. All the guys we needed to. We just needed one of them to step up, maybe, and we win this game. And I felt like a lot of them. Like I said, maybe the moment was a little big for them, and they kind of couldn't handle that pressure. Um, but man, didn't really like the effort level, man. When you have a team that's supposed to be scrappy, uh, it it just sucks when you have a game like this where it feels like the people watching us fans like want this more than the players on the court sometimes. And unfortunately for Deni, man, he played so hard and he was gassed in that fourth quarter. And I don't blame him for that. I do not blame him. You guys know I'm pretty consistent with the free throw thing. Yes, it sucks that the Blazers left a lot of points at the free throw line on this game. Where did they go? Just open up the team stats here. 19 of 30, so we lose by 13, leave 11 points at the foul line. Deni missed, 5 of 6 there at the end. But I mean, he played 40 minutes almost, and he was doing so much every time down the court to have to try and score that you could tell he needed a break at some point. But unfortunately, no one else was playing good enough to give him a break and not maintain a close game. So yeah, I was just really disappointed in the effort level by pretty much everyone outside of the three you mentioned.
Yeah, this is the last game to be too hard on Denny. The only play that I want to be hard on him for was the play where he was complaining about not getting a call and then let his guy beat him down the floor for a wide open dunk. I
Yeah,
will always criticize anybody for not running back on defense. Denny's no exception, even when he's playing great. Like, you're not going to change the call by complaining. The only thing that's going to happen is you might compound it and make it worse because you give up a bucket. So just get back on defense. Complain during a dead ball or something. And he was getting calls. He got to the line 14 times. So, yeah, maybe he got fouled on that play, but man, you got to get back. You got to play defense. But the free throws, I mean, he's going against a defense that is geared to stop him because nobody else can shoot or do anything. And he has 36 points, 8 assists, 6 boards, and was carrying this team, was the only reason they weren't down 25 entering the fourth quarter, and was doing it all. Like, yeah, he was gassed at the end because he had no help. He showed up, he gave the best effort out of everybody, and he performed the best. He attacked all game long. He was the only guy that could make threes. And we're going to sit here at the end like, oh, yeah, it sucks that he missed 5 out of 6 free throws. But, dude, that's what it looks like when a player's leaving it all out on the floor. He's gassed at the end. And, yeah, he needs to be able to hit free throws when he's gassed. But it's like he showed up, he showed out, he kept this team in his game. He was carrying this team. Nobody did him any favors. He was gassed at the end and missed free throws because of it. I'm not going to sit there and be harsh on him for that. The turnovers as well, man. Like, he had 8 assists, 6 turnovers, but if he had shooters out there, he would have had 12 assists, 13 assists. He has nobody that can make a shot when he kicks out the ball to them, and he's forced to make plays against multiple defenders every time down the floor. It's almost impossible not to turn over the ball given the defensive coverage that he's facing right now and given how much he has to do for this offense right now. So, yeah, statistically, it doesn't look good. 8 for 14 from the free throw line, leaving 6 points on the board at the charity stripe, and then the turnovers. Yeah, it doesn't look good. But, dude, 36 points, 8 assists, 6 rebounds. He's a star. He needs more help, is the bottom line coming out of a game like this.
Yeah, absolutely. And my problem with him not getting help this game, we don't play again until Sunday, Tori. And so, like, what are these guys doing? Like, what are you waiting for? You don't. There's not another cup game. This is it. This is a win or go or you're out situation. Like you have Turkey Day tomorrow. You got multiple days off after that to rest up. You don't play till Sunday. I don't understand how the effort could look this bad. You come home. You're in front of the home crowd too. It really feels like one of those games where they were like, "Oh, they don't have Wemby. We just beat the Bucks, so we're gonna come in here and easily win," you know. And Deni was the only one who didn't really have that attitude, and that sucks that we just freaking handed them a win when the Blazers should have been the aggressor and taken it to them this game. And there's no excuse for not doing so other than Deni.
Yep, the effort's been too inconsistent with this team, especially a team that prides itself on competing hard for 48 minutes. There's some stretches of 48 minutes where it's just not good. The effort is way too inconsistent. The shooting is way too inconsistent. It's just a straight up bad. They shot well last game against the Bucks, so they win that game pretty comfortably because they shot a good 3-ball. But more often than not, they're not going to shoot a good 3-ball because they don't have enough shooting on this team, and that's a roster construction flaw, right? So effort too inconsistent, shooting too inconsistent. There's too many guys that are playing right now that you don't know what you're going to get out of on a night-to-night basis. You know, when Caleb Love has 26, City Sissoko has 15, that's great. Cool, you got a great win on the road against the Warriors. More often than not, they're going to hurt you offensively. So they have to find a way to get more consistent effort. And it's like, if you're going to have guys that struggle to shoot, then they need to be giving max effort. They need to do one or the other. And yeah, I was very disappointed with the effort. The rebounding too,
Dude,
the defensive rebounding. Like, this team does not run well enough to give up so many boards. But San Antonio just out-scrapped us
there was like
and out-rebounded us.
there was like 3 or 4 times in the second half where freaking Champagny with 3 or 4 Blazers in the paint for a rebound, and he comes up with the ball, or like one of their players comes up with the ball 1-on-3 or 1-on-4. It's just like that cannot happen. It cannot happen. It's just people ball watching, and they just wanted it more tonight, man. And it's kind of sad that that's the case, considering how much was on the line for us.
Yeah, man. Got to clean up the defensive glass. Well, that's something that plagued this team last year, and they talked about it going into this year, how they wanted to clean that up, and they haven't. They still continue to struggle, and it's still just too many perimeter players don't box out or don't compete on the boards well enough for our bigs to, our Klingen can't grab every rebound against 3-4 guys. There's just too many guys that just have a free lane to crash the boards. And if we were leaking out and getting a lot of fast break buckets and giving up some offensive rebounds because of that, that'd be one thing. But that's not what's happening right now. It's we're not a good fast break team right now, yet we're bleeding points on the defensive glass when we do get stops. And that's the frustrating part, man. You can't be a high-effort defensive team and not be able to finish off some of these defensive possessions the way they struggle to do so. So, anyway, that's all I got for today. I'm gonna bow out here. It's It's foggy on I-5. I'm about to take over and drive, but
All right.
appreciate you having me. Hopefully the audio was good. Shout out to chat, man. Excited to be back with you guys on Sunday after the Blazers take on the Thunder. Yay, we get to play the Thunder again. Um, but I'll be happy to be back home and have the normal setup and all that. But appreciate you holding down the fort, Eric. Uh,
Yeah.
and then shout out to Mubsy for helping set up the streams.
Yeah. Thanks, Mubsy. And hope you have a safe drive back. Hope your trip's been fun so far. Are you trying to make it all the way back tonight, or where are you stopping?
No, no, we're driving the rest of the way back. We're trying to make it to Wairika, however you say it.
Yeah. Eureka.
Yreka. You know,
Yeah.
I don't know how to say that. But yeah, it's like super foggy on I-5, so um, it's kind of crazy. Like
Yeah.
visibility is kind of crap right now. So
Well, be
yeah,
safe,
gonna
man.
gonna be back. Gonna be back tomorrow.
All right. Happy Thanksgiving to you. Have a good night.
Thanks, man. Happy Thanksgiving to everybody in chat. Appreciate you guys. I'm out.
All right. Bye, Tori. All right. Let's see if turning off Discord helps with this at all. Um, I don't know what's going on with that. All right. So, um, yeah, Adam Smith is in chat talking about how we can't expect to win much if we don't have ball handlers. I completely disagree, man. Um, I completely disagree. Uh, it's these games have been winnable, man, and there's several key things. One, like I mentioned, some of these games the game plan has been poor for defending the other team's best player. It was terrible tonight. We just let Fox get into the paint pretty much anytime he wanted to. And then, yeah, it was just, it's frustrating, man. The lack of shooting that we've talked about all season, there's several factors, but I do not believe that the Blazers have lost these games because they don't have point guards. That maybe there's been a couple, but these have been winnable games. There was no excuse for not winning this game tonight. I mean, I felt like they could have gotten good shots if they wanted to. Octane put money on the Blazers money line at halftime. Yeah, probably not the best decision. Um, I don't know what I could do. I don't know what I can do to fix this choppiness. Yeah, I get really tired of the oh, we're missing these guys excuses. Yes, it would help to have ball handlers, but I mean, Deni was putting guys in good position. Had several alley oops, several nice passes on the break. Um, yeah, I mean, we kicked it out. If you have Deni getting into the paint and kicking it out to wide open shooters, and those shooters go 4 for 28 from the field, I mean, what difference is Drew gonna make kicking out to those same shooters? How is that gonna how is that gonna change it? But yes, I mean, having Drew and and Scoot the only thing that'll change is making it so we don't have to play Caleb Love and City Sissoko minutes when it matters. But that's just going to be how it is. I wonder if I don't know if I refresh if it ends the stream. Shout out to Nathan, member for 34 months. Any Brant bombs coming soon? I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't ever know when they're coming either, so I don't just like be like, oh well, in the next couple weeks I'll for sure have one for you. Yeah. And actually, with the ownership situation, it's gotten a little bit tighter on info coming out. But yeah, I mean, you guys know. I'll let you know if I hear anything. Era says JG 0 for 5 is unusual and hope 2 for 12 doesn't become regular. Unfortunately, you don't have a lot to do besides hoping. Yeah, but I didn't like Grant's energy in this game, man. I felt like his drives were so weak. That one where they challenged and lost on the block charge call, I feel like last game he easily draws the foul there with a strong drive to the rim. Instead, he's like falling over, flailing, and not even close to getting a good shot off. And yeah, it's disappointing, man, because I felt like his head was not in this game tonight, and I don't know why. And Tamani is just, like you can tell, is just in his head. Just in his head, man. Adam Smith's just curious, were you able to watch the whole game today, or are you just going to watch it later, or what? Marv says his only strong move for Grant was the under the basket dunk. Yeah, I was pumped when that happened. So was Blake Wesley, who was on the mic at the time. But yeah, it's just that was like the only play he did. He did that. Nika says JG did this all year, last year, all the time. Yeah, this was a 2024-2025 version of Jeremy Grant tonight, and unfortunately we needed better from that. But this is the problem when you're shorthanded, is that you need multiple people to step up, and Deni's pretty much stepped up in every game this year, but who's going to step up with him? Will any players even speak? Yeah, I think a couple of them usually do, even after losses. Yeah, I mean, I thought Robert Williams gave him some good minutes off the bench, at least at times. I thought Klingon tried to be aggressive. He had a couple stretches where he was pretty good, and then a couple stretches where he was a bit rough. But overall, those two combined with Deni, I felt like were the only ones that really showed up. Deni and DC spoke. Okay. Yeah, the Blake Wesley interview was probably the best part of the game. He was pretty good on the mic, but yeah, I'm just bummed out, guys. Like this was a winnable game despite how crappy the Blazers played, and I felt like they came into this game thinking that they were just gonna roll the Spurs over and didn't have to really do much, and yeah, it just I unfortunately I can't listen to uh, the Splitter interview on the air. I guess I could maybe do it through my phone. Do you guys want to listen to it through my phone? Should I try that? Or should I just wait till afterwards? Do you guys want to hear it or not? All right. I'm kind of curious to see if anyone asked them um, why they didn't adjust their coverage on Fox or deploy a different game plan, because that was stupid, man. Uh, I don't see at least on the Blazers channel, they haven't posted. They have not posted Splitter's media availability, so never mind. They put up some highlights. And they have Thiago before the game. So we'll wait. Maybe later on they'll have it on there. I don't know what the analytics say on Fox, so maybe they say something different. But in my opinion, his whole career, he's been a guy that if he gets going downhill, will absolutely kill you. And if he's super, super fast with the ball, he can get to his spots. It's like just quick as heck, man. And so if I'm Fox, I'm like licking my chops watching the Blazers their coverages in this game, because all you have to do is beat one guy and you have it made. Like, he's not going to catch back up, and he's already he's very good at slowing down and getting the defender on his back so he can draw fouls too. Um, yeah, links don't work in chat, so I can't see any links. So you just let me know what channel was it. Like one of the news channels that posted it. Is it like NBC or something? But man, yeah, I really thought that the Blazers did such a poor job of containing him. It's just, especially, man, the drop coverage was way too low. They didn't really have a big man that was hurting us inside. Cornette wasn't looking to even shoot half the times he got the ball inside. And yeah, so I just don't know what they were doing, because Fox just continually got into the paint and shot his little shot over the top of the defense, and Klingon or Robbo were too far back, and the other defender was behind him because we're over pressuring, or there's a screen and we're not playing hard enough. So why not blitz a pick or bring the big up more on the screen to hedge it, or show and go or something? I don't understand. And maybe if Cornette starts scoring a bunch, or Olenek starts hitting a bunch of shots, then you adjust your coverage back or to something else. But those guys were not hurting us in this game. That was not anywhere close to the reason why we lost. So where the heck is the adjustments? I'm just baffled as to why you would play the same way in the fourth quarter when this dude has 30 points, the same way you're playing him in the first three quarters. Like, it makes no sense, dude. And I think Nate Bjorkgren needs to be called out for this game plan tonight. It was bad. And if we have a better game plan on Fox, Vassell was hitting shots too, so maybe he goes off even more. Keldon Johnson, I don't know if he scored that much, but it seemed like he impacted the game with his energy and stuff. But like, Harrison Barnes hit some shots, I guess. But like, I don't know. I feel like we win this game with a slightly better strategy, even despite how bad we played on offense outside of Deni. So I don't get it, man. What was this coaching staff thinking? Just allowing Fox for 48 minutes to get wherever he wanted on the floor and not do anything to bother him. I don't get it. Can someone explain this to me? And very frustrated with that. And Bjorkgren's supposed to be the defensive guy, man. Like, you're supposed to be on this stuff, but like, you're just gonna sit there and let this team just freaking attack you the way they did and not do anything about it? Yeah, I mean, Vassell hit some shots, but like, those are ones you live with. Like, if we lost because Vassell scores 30 something off of mostly like, 75-80% of his shots being contested, but he hit them anyway, you just say, hey man, that's when you just throw your hands up and be like, we did everything we could, we were in his face, and he was just better than us tonight. But like, we literally just let Fox have this game. And that's, man, with all that was at stake for the Blazers in this game, it's so annoying, dude. Like I said, a better game plan, we win this one. And we're on here like celebrating the fact that we're gonna play a somewhat meaningful game coming up. All right, Basket Man posted it. Mitch Johnson. Okay. All right, I'm going to start playing this. And before I play it, though, so here's the other problem. I mentioned that they have 3 days off. So Thursday, Friday, Saturday, all off days. They don't play again until Sunday. But then you go back on the road, and you got to go to, I think it's Detroit, Detroit, Cleveland. Let me bring up the schedule real quick. The schedule has not been kind to the Blazers. They come home for one home game, and they go all the way to Florida on a 5-game road trip, and then come back, get 2 home games, and then have to go back on the road, go all the way to Milwaukee, then come home for 2 home games again, and then go on the road, Toronto, Cleveland, Detroit, Memphis. So another 4-game road trip where they go all the way to Toronto. Just very unkind scheduling too. So the scheduling is not in their favor early on, even if it was like easier opponents, it's still tough because of just how much travel they're having to do and how little time they've been in Portland over the last few weeks. Um, so yeah, the games like this you got to have, man. And so there was no excuse for that one tonight. I'm just really, really aggravated, if you can't tell. Let's listen to Thiago. Hopefully you can hear this on my phone.
So, what was frustrating about that one, Thiago?
Maybe they won the game on stuff that we do, like offense rebounds and winning the possession game. We turn over the ball. They didn't. We couldn't get stopped at some moments. So yeah, I mean, they shot, I don't know how many shots more than us, and that's the game right there.
You feel like offensively, to me, it's generating some pretty good looks, just can't finish outside of Deni really like finding what he wanted.
I mean, it's a little bit, we shot 36 threes. A lot of those were we're going to have one of those nights where you don't make shots. It's part of the game. But, in order to have a chance, you need to have more possessions, and that's what we didn't have. If we just kind of like draw the possession games, we have a chance to win the game. So that's the game.
With the tournament implications, is this the type of loss where you want the sting of losing to stay with you more than other games?
I mean, it's
What?
It's a different loss. We out of the tournament, but somehow you gotta stay together and keep working. There's a lot of young guys in our team, and they're learning how to win and how to compete those moments, every possession. Don't give up. I think we did that for the most part this season. So, that last quarter wasn't. We were tired. Tried to play longer minutes with the guys, but Deni was trying to score every time. He played 39 minutes, but he also was tired and turned over the ball a couple of times. Shaden came off the injury and didn't have any rhythm, which is part of it. I understand. But again, it's not about offense. It's not. It's about our defense rebounding. I think that's where we lost the game.
Is that a technique thing, defense rebound? Or is that, in your eyes, just sort of hustle stuff?
Awareness is willing to box out and put a body on them. They just played harder than us.
How would
Why?
you evaluate Sharpe's return?
Of course, wasn't in rhythm, right? Like, it's tough. I mean, you stay a couple of weeks off and you try to come back on an important game like this, where you gotta perform on both ends, and he just couldn't. I mean, you gotta give him also credit to trying to get back there and play this important game. So, we watch film, we got better, we learn from it.
How happy are you to have 3 days off after this one?
Not necessarily happy. Just want to have a nice Thanksgiving with my family and rest tomorrow and get back to work and working some of the stuff that we need. So have 2 days to do that is important right now.
Is this your first chance to have real practice? And it seems like a long time.
It is. Other than some shoot-arounds, it's the first time we're going to have time to practice and do some adjustments and talk about offense, defense, and how can we improve on both ends, right?
Something specific you really want to emphasize with those practices?
Box out is one of those. Just be aware of that. Offensively, I think we play a little slow now. Hopefully we can get a couple guys back too, like Drew and Shea, be 100%. I don't know when that's going to be, but that will help as well.
Is Drew close, or where's his status?
Not really. I mean, he's shooting the ball and starting to move more. But I'm not sure when he's coming back. But I'm just praying for it right now.
All right. Gotta love the. Do you want this loss to sting more than what? What? Oh, that was funny. I wonder who that was. Man. Yeah, I mean, obviously, I get what. I get what the. Like, I get asking if this type of loss will linger more, but the way he asked it was more like, are you happy that you get to have this sting, coach, so that you blew an opportunity to make the cup knockout group? uh that gave me a chuckle. Yeah, I don't know. I don't really like to have days off after a loss. I'd rather get back to playing as soon as possible. Oh, just funny, man. Let's see. So the other thing is about the schedule. So the Blazers play. They have the 3 days off, but then they have at home against OKC, then at Toronto, at Cleveland, 3 games in 4 nights because they have a game Sunday, travel Monday, and then back-to-back Tuesday, Wednesday, Toronto, the hottest team in the league, and Cleveland, one of the best teams in the East. And then they have a day off, and then they play at Detroit, the best team in the league outside of OKC, who they also have to play on Sunday. This could get pretty bad over the next handful of games. Yikes. Yeah, I don't think we actually play that well off extended rest. It seems like we don't. Seems like we don't. I mean, this was, I guess, technically the 3rd game in 4 nights, too, because we played Sunday, Monday, both on the road. So, yeah. I don't know. I've been talking about this since the 2019 Western Conference Finals run. This team, it feels like every time they take a step forward and it feels like they're building some momentum, they start thinking their S doesn't stink anymore, and then they have an effort game like this and go right back to square one. And it's pretty frustrating, man. But I do understand that it is a situation where there's a lot of players that shouldn't be in a rotation on a good NBA team. So I kind of feel bad for Thiago for having to play some of those guys. But why would you not have why are we wasting a roster spot on a 2-way with Javante Cook? Like, why not get someone on that 2-way that can maybe have a good game every once in a while? I mean, like, he's not even playable, really. But it's like time to be back to developing young players, says Kirk. Yeah, I mean, development is key. Like, we want them to develop, but I mean, Sharpe's in his 4th season. Deni is in his 6th season or something. Tamani's in his 3rd season now. Chris is in his 3rd season. Donovan is only in his 2nd season, but he's he's fairly mature. Rob Will's a vet. Grant's a vet. But like Deni and Tamani are in the mid-20s. Like, I don't know. It's just, it's frustrating, man. Yep. Bryce says, give me the number one G League 3-point shooter on a 2-way. Yeah. A bit of Reith tonight, though. I mean, I don't know if you guys have picked up on this, but I think Reith's kind of in the doghouse. He's been really bad defensively when he's come in games, and he's got outside of non-garbage time when he's come in for meaningful minutes, he's committed some really stupid fouls on shooters, on 3-point shots a couple times. Yeah. Let's talk about Shaedon Sharpe for a minute. Like I mentioned last time, if he showed up on the injury report as anything other than out, I think it was a good sign that he was going to play. Obviously, he was on a restriction tonight again. Back to this again, which is frustrating. I thought he was, well, not right off the bat because he had the bad turnover on like the first time he touched the ball or he threw it out of bounds. I think he was trying to throw it to Chris, and Chris cut and he threw it out of bounds. That happened to the Blazers several times tonight where someone cut and someone threw the ball to where they thought they were going to be and they weren't there, which is unfortunate. But the next 4 times Sharpe touched the ball, he didn't settle for the 3. One of those times it looked like he was going to do his 3-point shot, and he pulled up. He cashed 3 mid-range jumpers, all with good spacing, good pull-up, good looking form and all that. And then the other one out of those 4, he got fouled and got to the free throw line. I was thinking, this is great. Great, man. Him not settling for threes really opens up his game when he's hitting that mid-range shot. And I was like, if he can hit that mid-range, and I don't know if this is being coached out of him. I know with Grant it is, but we do have that. We do have it on record that Thiago likes threes and rim shots. So I don't know how much they are going to let a good pull-up mid-range shooter like Sharpe shoot those. But he was money on his mid-range shots today, and he had 8 points on 3 shots in 3 minutes. And then the rest of the game was pretty bad for him. Just could not turn the corner on drives. Then he started settling for the 3 instead of pulling up from mid-range like it was earlier. And I think, I really hope they look at his game and see the way he played at the beginning of his shift. It really is so much better for him than pulling up and trying to hit threes or trying to do too much in an ISO situation. Now, if he gets a pick and he's curling around a pick and he has a chance to get a step on a defender, I think it's a little better. But yeah, they really need to figure out how to do it. And I know this, like Thiago said, first game back wasn't quite in his rhythm, so it's hard to integrate him back perfectly for that. So, but his first 3 minutes were awesome. And I was like, man, it's good to have Sharpe back. And then the rest of the time, just couldn't get it together. Kirk says Young should be in the rotation moving forward. He's not ready, man. Not ready. And Kirk also says we had a good run. I think we need to scoot back and trade some vets. Short of the bottom falling out of the season, I mean, it might look like the bottom's falling out after this next handful of games because it's pretty bad. But yeah, I don't think this organization is thinking like, oh, we need to take another step back at this point and refocus on the younger players. I think they're clearly trying to move forward with most of the players they have on the roster. But I mean, you still look at the standings. They're still in position for the play-in. Nico says we just don't have enough talent. Deciding to go for it second half of last year and this year was such a mistake. Yeah, I mean, we can talk about whether or not they should do that, but clearly, until they're out of the running for the play-in, they're going to go for the play-in, and they're not going to hold them back this year. And clearly last year, they tried to win some games until it was too late. But they needed something to like hang their hats on. And yeah, the only exceptions to that are, we talked about this last couple streams. So Thibault and Rob Will both have expiring contracts at the end of this season. So maybe if you don't feel like you want to re-sign one of those guys, or you think it's going to be too expensive, or you've gotten some sort of indication that they're going to test free agency, I think then maybe you look to move one of them. Right now, I mean, Rob Will is a very competent backup center if he's healthy, and that's the problem. It's a huge if, so don't know if he's going to be able to stick around and play. But see, this is I don't know how to put this, because they will take assets if they get the assets in a situation where they also get what they want, if that makes sense. So like the Young trade, they are at the 11th pick. They want Jan Hansen. They don't want anyone else. They have the blinders on for Jan Hansen. That's all they care about. They have a chance to trade back 5 spots, pick up an additional future first, and get the guy they wanted. Anyway, I think they're fine doing those kind of trades. But I don't see them being like, oh, Rob Will, we can get a couple seconds for him right now, and you know, a shooter or something. Like I don't know if they're gonna do that. It doesn't feel like that's their mindset right now, to add more assets. It's more like, oh, we're just gotta wait for this team to get healthy. But yeah, I don't know. Tristan says, great game for Deni, but he needs to be better in the clutch. Seems like he is letting us down in the final 2 minutes consistently now. Do you know why that is, Tristan? I'm assuming you watched the game too, right? I don't think, I'm not trying to call you out or anything, but I don't think people realize how tiring and how taxing it is on your body to drive the amount of times Deni is driving in a game. It it's hard to do, and then you get tired. And yes, he needs to make his free throws like Matt says in chat. Absolutely. But you could tell at the end of the third quarter he was done, man. He was done. He still gave more effort than anyone else in that fourth quarter, even though it didn't really work out for him. But he's literally putting this team on his back right now with a bunch of, like, Sharpe has been out, Drew's been out, Scoot hasn't played this year, Dame's not going to play this year, Klingon's been okay, you know, Thibault has been out, Wesley's been out now, you know, Grant's had some good games, some bad ones recently, but like there's a bunch of G leaders other than him. Tamani hasn't played well, hasn't stepped up at all. I mean, that was supposed to be like the dynamic duo, like offense and defense, both ends of the court. I don't get. Yeah, I mean, I understand if he's gonna be like an MVP level player, he's got to be better. But dude, you cannot carry CD Sissoko and Caleb Love and Chris Murray for 38 minutes and expect him to not be absolutely gassed, right? Like, put SGA on this team and he's freaking tired in the fourth quarter too, man. Like, it's just the way Deni plays too is like physical and stuff like that. It takes a toll, man. But that's why he's like been better in the games where he hasn't had to play like almost 40 minutes. How are you supposed to control your energy when he literally kept us in the game? I'm sorry, but that's a dumb comment. Like, you can't. So what? He shouldn't have scored all those points earlier in the game. He shouldn't have done all those drives earlier in the game to keep us in it. He should have just waited till we were down 30 points and then been like, oh, it's the fourth quarter now. Let me try to actually play harder and give more energy, dude. Like, come on. Come on, man. Be better than that. Like, you could literally see him give all his energy on the court and leave it all out there when a lot of the players, I questioned whether they even wanted to show up and play in this freaking game. It was pathetic, and we're calling out his energy level. Like, that's ridiculous, man. Like, you guys know I've been fairly, I've been critical of his turnovers and stuff like that, but he gave it his all tonight, man. He left it all out there in a game that was very important to this team. And man, it's kind of maddening that people are calling out his energy, dude. Like, it's ridiculous. Yeah, if the rest of the team didn't go 4 for 28 and hit some threes, so we could have like not have to score 36 points or whatever he had. I'd be interested to see what his potential assists were this game again. And yeah, he's got to make his free throws, all that stuff. So here's the difference. So people are saying he was better than Fox in this game, maybe, but San Antonio adjusted their defense too, and the Blazers did not. So we just let Fox continue to attack, and the Spurs made him more have to settle for 3-point shots, which he hit to his credit. But yeah. And yeah, I mean, we know that Deni, I mean, he doesn't have a long history of being the guy on a team and having to carry him in the clutch. too. So that is something he's got to learn if he's going to be that number one option. You know, you have to be good at the end of games too. I just felt like tonight in particular, he was like pretty much the only reason why we stayed in this game and didn't get blown out by 30. So I don't know, man. Yeah. I mean, they took him out with a few seconds left in the fourth to rest on a defensive possession, and then they rested him for like a minute or two in the fourth. It's tough. Do you make a trade or stand pat? I depends on the trade. And I know we've talked about this. I know multiple teams. There was a report after our stream on Monday about just how many half the leagues called about Keon Ellis. But that's the perfect player because you don't have to. You can give up some picks and one of your crappy players that aren't either playing or producing at all, because he's only 2.2 million, so repair matches his thing, and then you just add picks, or you give him Chris Murray if his contract matches, and then all of a sudden you have a shooter without messing up your rotation, and a guy who plays hard on defense on both ends, and would fit in perfectly in my opinion. But that's too perfect, man. Too perfect. So why would we do it? But yeah, I'm all for a trade like that. A small trade that gets us a shooter with without having to give up like any of our main guys. But yeah, I don't know, man. I guess don't get me wrong, the December 15th date isn't like a day where trades just start happening usually, but that is an important date when like free agents that signed in the off season can start being traded and things like that. So usually there aren't a ton of trades until closer to the deadline, but once December 15th hit, it does open up a lot more trade options, I guess. CJ McCollum is almost guaranteed to be a Blazer starting next season. Why is that? Because, we have Scoot Henderson, Shaden Sharpe, Damian Lillard, Drew Holiday, all at the guards. Everyone likes Blake Wesley now. That's 5 guards. Oh yeah, we need a 6th guard now, right? Next year when everyone's back. So guaranteed to have CJ as our 6th guard. Okay, so okay. Just a fun topic to talk about or a fun thought is not the same as guaranteeing CJ will be a Blazer next year. Reunited the backcourt. What do we have to lose? We have a roster spot to lose that on a player that's not going to play if everyone's healthy. I don't know. Red Text asked if I saw the new Ringer Top 100. Yeah, I did. I'll tell you what, Tamani does not deserve to be on the top 100 right now. As much as I hate to say that, he does not deserve to be on it. And Deni was what, 40th? That's way too low for Deni the way he's playing right now. But Oh man. See what you started, Tristan. Now you got Gregory all up in arms. Man. Shooting was so bad. They had so many possessions. There was a point they were up 7 with like two something left and ended up down 2 at halftime. There's so many wasted possessions, so many careless turnovers, so much laziness with the ball, and laziness guarding the ball. Just God, it's frustrating because they definitely should have won this game. Definitely should have won this game. And it also sucks because that would have been really fun to look forward to. A couple meaningful games in December, possibly. Yeah. Rytek says, I guess Blazer fans made this list as they have zero respect for what Deni is doing. What are you talking about, man? What is... What? I don't get what you're saying, man. Blazer fans don't think Deni's a good player. Don't be one of those Deni fans, man. Don't be one of those fans. Speaking of annoying. Yeah, at least we don't have to play OKC again a 5th time this year. I guess Rytex isn't going to say what he means by that. I don't get... Dude. Why do you let those people bother you? That's dumb, man. There are some Blazer fans, or not even Blazer fans. There's some, I mean, let's just face it. There's some discourse involving his nationality, his thoughts on his country, that kind of stuff. That is different than thinking that Deni sucks or something. But I also don't get why you come in here and act like... Because when you say that in here, you're implying that we're saying that too. And you also generalize Blazer fans. Like, see, that's the problem. Like, you can't just say there's a few specific people that seem to always argue against Deni. Just stop talking to those people then. They're just... It's not that difficult. Yeah, there's a few people who refuse to like him because of the country he was from, but yeah, I mean, we're gonna try to keep it to basketball for this conversation, but yeah. Man, Denny's been really good this year, so I mean, if someone's saying Denny sucks or something and they're a Blazer fan, they they obviously don't give a crap. They just are trying to get under your skin or whatever. But at the same time, I don't know if you heard these comments last stream when I talked about this, but we have people who like literally time how long it is in between when we talk about Deni or when we first mention his name on streams and stuff, and then tell us in the comment, these guys don't like Deni. They waited 47 seconds before they mentioned his name. Like, come on, you need to mention him in the first 32 seconds. It's like so crazy, man. Like, don't be that extreme either. Is Portland eliminated now? Yeah, from the cup. Yep, they are. There was a scenario where like a bunch of teams could lose, but that didn't end up playing out. But I mean, they were 2-2 either. They don't deserve to move to the first 8. Tristan, that's not the same thing because a lot of people don't condone what the U.S. is doing. So, I mean, if like the U.S. just bombed a country and then Jeremy Grant came out and said, yeah, I love the U.S. for bombing that country, then he would deserve to get a bunch of criticism. But like, that's not. Yeah. No, he definitely supported that other part too, Garben. I think that's the issue here. But yeah, let's not talk about this too much. But yeah, that's a distinction when you come out and say support what your country is doing versus your country actually doing it, if it makes sense. But man, even with the missed free throws, Deni had what? How many shots did he take? $37 points on 19 shots. Yeah, that's pretty dang good. Almost 2 points per shot. That's crazy. Fanatic says, who are realistic trade targets you want besides Keon Ellis? No one. I only want Keon Ellis. Yeah, I get what you're saying, Nathan, but that some people are choosing not to separate those two things. Yeah. Which is definitely people's rights to do so. So Tristan wants Deni to get more aggressive, but you also want him to have energy at the end of games. Come on, man. Like you can't have it both ways. He's already right there amongst the top in the league in drives per game. You can't physically be more aggressive. It just doesn't work. Like he's doing the best he can. Alex asked, "Are we going to hire a coach or not until the offseason?" I I firmly believe Thiago, unless something happens, will be the coach the rest of the season. I don't think they're gonna, and he does have a chance of making it next or being the coach long term. Um, I don't know how much leeway they're gonna give him for giving him a bunch of two-way guys, but yeah. Mustafa Yusuf says, "Are we a playoff team?" Not right now. Not right now. Um, they're they're still currently a play-in team, barely, but they're still a play-in team. Yeah, but I don't think they're an actual. So to be a playoff team right now, you'd have to, if you're the ninth or 10th seed, you'd have to first of all get the ninth or 10th seed, and then you'd have to win. If you're the 10th seed, you have to win 2 road playing games just to be the 8th seed and get destroyed by OKC. If you're the ninth seed, you get 1 home game, 1 road game if you win that um, to play OKC. If you're 7th seed, you can either win, or if you're the 8th seed, you can win the first game and be the 7th seed, or you can, if you lose, you have to win against the 9-10 winner and then play OKC. So it's tough, but I don't believe. I, well, let me change what I'm going to say. I don't believe this team this year will make the actual playoffs. I still think the play-in's very realistic. I do believe that they should be more of in a position right now to be a playoff team and to possibly be in that higher play-in, so it's easier to make the playoffs, where you'd have 2 chances at it. But yeah, to me, um, they've left some meat on the bone in terms of getting wins. I felt like today, in particular, they just did not want this game very badly outside of Deni. Tristan says the West has 3 juggernauts. The Blazers will probably get swept by. Yeah, I mean, I guess it wouldn't matter if you get swept or whatever. You're not gonna make a championship run or anything, but yeah, it's, I don't think you should really be that concerned about it. But also, I apologize for yawning so much. Been up since 4:30, so just a little tired, but still wanted to hang out with you guys. So. Era says the bright side is you had a tough schedule and dealt with injuries. Yeah, you're totally still alive. 8-11. Brighter days could come. Absolutely. You get some guys back soon. Hopefully Scoot, once he comes back, doesn't have any more setbacks and is able to go full speed here in a few weeks. Hopefully Drew's back sooner rather than later. They had a week to 2 weeks time frame. It's coming up on a week, I think. So He shouldn't be out too much longer, you wouldn't think. You also have to kind of manage his minutes a little bit, I think. I don't want him playing heavy minutes. So just maybe like 24 to 27, 28 minutes a game. I wouldn't really push him too much more than that. But yeah. See, my problem is though, 8 and 11. You win games like tonight though, and you're 9 and 10 and you're in much better shape. But like what's going to happen? What is going to happen after this stretch where we have to play OKC, Toronto, Cleveland, Detroit all in a row? So we could very easily be coming on here and saying, oh, well, we've had a tough stretch. We've had injuries. But pretty good to be 8 and 15 still, right? So hopefully that's not what we're saying. But I feel like right now they should be better than they, record-wise, than they have been, despite everything that's gone against them. And just a little frustrating. Hope Scoot doesn't need surgery. Is that a rumor, Gregory? Is someone saying that he might end up needing the surgery? I mean, he obviously had some sort of setback. Adam, do you live in the Northwest? Yeah, I just hope if these next few games get away from him, considering 3 days and 4 nights against 3 really good teams, I just hope the players don't get too down. Yeah, I mean, obviously, with Scoot, it was a bummer hearing he was hurt, right before training camp. Really wanted to see how all his work during the summer paid off. Oh, so yeah, it sucked. And then, they give this 4 to 8 week time frame, and then 8 weeks passed, and now he's going to be out another 2 to 4 weeks till he's reevaluated, can even resume basketball activities. So just disappointed, man, because this is a big year for Scoot, and feel bad for him, but hopefully he doesn't need surgery, because I'm assuming if he has to have surgery in January, that probably puts him out for the season, right? And then you have no evaluation for him in his third year. I don't know what that does for extension talks or what it does for him, like, with the roster spot moving forward. So hopefully not. What's up, David? How you doing? Brutal loss, but I will listen back to the stream later tonight. Nice. Yeah, it's always kind of weird how they say someone's like questionable and then nothing new happens, but then they're out a bunch of games. Same thing happened with Sharpe, he's like questionable and then he ends up not playing and then he's out. He was listed as out for several games, so yeah. Yeah, I don't know if it was torn or like how bad the tear is. Like, there's different degrees, but yeah. What if we trade for a Kings player like Zach LaVine? Ugh. Ugh. No. No, 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 no. If that was directed at me, Alex, yeah, I appreciate that, but I don't need you guys to donate money so I can go to a game. Appreciate it, though. See, Garben's talking about taking 2 out of the starting lineup. The problem is what... Like, I guess if we're fully healthy, I guess you go back to starting Grant, but I really like Grant off the bench. Tamani's not a scorer, so what are you doing with that bench line? That just makes your bench lineup that much worse, in my opinion. Sabir says our roster is good. We just need to be healthy and let the young players develop. I think it's got some good parts to it. I do think there are way too many guys on the roster with a similar archetype. Solid defender, effort, energy guy, except for tonight. But can't shoot. And can't really be depended on to put the ball on the floor or anything like that because NBA coverages. So I do think their archetypes are too similar. We need either more players that are good at both 3 and D and not just D, or we need at least a mix of being able to throw out a shooter every once in a while when teams are selling out. Yeah, the problem with LaVine is he makes way too much money and he's not, I don't know, he just does not really fit with our guard situation already, so. Alex says the Pistons, in his opinion, are in way better shape than us. What gave you that idea? What do you mean they're in better shape than us? A team that's like what 14-2 right now is in better shape than us, or did they lose tonight? Why? How's that even a question? I mean, who would? Is there a single person out there outside of family members of the Blazer team right now that would take Detroit's or their roster over Detroit's right now? Oh, so they lost tonight. So what? They're 14-3. I mean, it's no contest right now. Detroit's lapped us. They went from, like Tory always says, they went from the team everyone was like, why would you want to lose on purpose? You'll become the Detroit Pistons, to look at them now like we'd love to be the Detroit Pistons. That's a good roster, man. And you know, they lost Malik Beasley in the offseason. Did they just be like, oh, we have all these defensive guys who can't shoot. Let's just roll with that and not add any more defense or any more shooting. Let's just keep adding defenders. Nope, they went out and got Duncan Robinson, so they had some shooting still. Oh, yeah. Era asked, would I trade Tamani for Patrick Williams right now if possible? No, I don't. I just think Patrick Williams had some promise and was okay, but I still believe in Tamani. I think Tamani's going to figure it out. This is it's not a case where like Tamani just sucks all of a sudden and is going to be terrible. I think he's just going through a rough stretch. Man, we'll get a good look at the Pistons. But yeah, that's what the Blazers need to do is get a shooter, man. I don't know where Klingon would go in a redraft. I think it's still too early to say. He doesn't necessarily have the flashy numbers, but we know his value watching his games all the time. Technically, Beasley is still available. Yeah, I mean he is a free agent, but I don't know if he's been cleared because I think he's still being investigated by the NBA. So he might get banned even if he doesn't get charged with anything. Man, Isaiah Joe, yeah. I wanted the Blazers to sign him so bad when he was let go by the Sixers. The Blazers had an ability that offseason to claim his contract. It was like on a minimum, I think. And it just gets a minimum from OKC. But at the time, just thought he would have been a great pickup. Need to find some way to get a shooter. So, what do you guys have planned for Thanksgiving for those that live in the U.S.? How are you celebrating tomorrow? Oh, Tristan says it was a bummer hearing how much Blake Wesley was talking about Chauncey. Yeah, he mentioned Chauncey several times. It's kind of awkward. Yeah, I don't think the way the Chauncey thing all went down, I don't think that was easy for anyone. Yeah, they all seemed to respond to him, even though he might not have been the best X's and O's coach. And I mean, that's been outside of the one allegation early in his career. I mean, he's been someone that everyone who interacts with him like has a lot of good things to say about him and respects him. So it's kind of odd that maybe he had some people fooled into thinking he was a good guy, but yeah. Yeah. He did throw it and Thiago too one time, but then he kept saying Billups. Alright, since we lost, we'll do a Tankathon. I can't I don't want to risk doing it on my computer and slowing it down. So we're tied for 11th best odds with Milwaukee. Yeah. So let me sim this. This is the official Tankathon for today, November 26th. At 14, we got the Bulls. 13, we have the 76ers. Pick going to OKC. At 12, we have your Portland Trail Blazers. 11, we have Milwaukee. 10th is Memphis. 9th is Utah's pick going to OKC. 8th is the Clippers pick going to OKC. So the Thunder in this right now, so through 8, chalk is held, and the Thunder own 3 of those picks. So they have 8, 9, and 13 right now, and 26, but that's not part of the lottery. That is crazy. Crazy. All right, 7, we have the Hornets moving down 2 spots. Brooklyn at 6, also moving down 2 spots. At number 5, we have the Indiana Pacers moving down 4 spots. They have the worst record currently in the league, a half a game better or worse, however you want to look at it, than the Washington Wizards. 4th goes to the Sacramento Kings. They almost get a top 3 pick to start their rebuild, if that's what they're going to end up doing, but end up with 4th. Still, it should be a good player there. At number 3, oh man, that's the Dallas Mavericks. So they're going to get one of Peterson, Dybonsa, or Cam Boozer to add to Cooper Flagg from last year. That's rough. At number 2, you got the Washington Wizards. Which means at number 1, we have the Atlanta Hawks for the second time in 3 years. This time, however, via the New Orleans Pelicans, who move up. They have the 3rd worst record right now at 3-16. So, yeah. The Hawks get the number 1 pick in a loaded draft because the New Orleans Pelicans wanted Derek Queen. Oh, and the Hawks also got the 23rd pick. They took Asia Newell. So, yeah. Fun times. Also, like I said earlier, that one-track mind the Blazers had for Young Hansen cost them possibly having the number 1 pick right now. So, yeah. So, yeah. How would you guys feel if the Blazers end up with the 12th pick this year? That's also fun times, right? I mean, maybe they get lucky and pick someone good. There should be a lot of good players available still. All right, let me try to see if anyone said anything about Thanksgiving. Brian the kid says going to dinner at a cousin and then hitting the airport Friday for San Diego. What's in San Diego? You got family down there? Or you just going on a vacation or what? Is he the only one who said what they're doing for Thanksgiving? Fine, don't tell me. I went by once again. I've done this the last couple weeks. Went by Cedric Coward's old school today. Willamette University in Salem, Oregon. BLD, that's just not a realistic trade, so. Plus, they're both on rookie contracts still, so that doesn't even come close to matching salary-wise, because Trey Murphy is on an extension, so is Herb Jones. Matt's going to brood and complain about the Blazers for Thanksgiving. Yeah. Nika's going to do the same. Yeah, let's all just be miserable and hate our families because the Blazers made us that way. Marv used to run track for Willamette. Nice. What am I doing for Thanksgiving? So we usually go to my wife's parents' house in the afternoon, and then at some point head over to my mom's for a second Thanksgiving dinner. So yeah, just do the 2 Thanksgiving thing. Good times. Yep, anyone could have had Ryan Rollins for a while. I was just waiting for another opportunity. It does seem like Ryan Rollins has put in a ton of work and just has an incredible work ethic. Would I trade Kamara for Chris Murray? They're on the same team. Do you mean Keegan? Because the Kings aren't doing that. And much like I just said, Chris is on a poison pill contract right now, so it's gonna be really hard to trade this season. And then once his contract kicks in, it's way more than Tamani, so it's hard to match them anyway. But every report, and I mean, I'd be shocked if the Kings dealt Keegan. Everything I've heard is that he's their guy moving forward. Maybe not their number one option, but he's like the one guy they're gonna keep. Thanks for watching, Nika. Have a good night, man. Happy Thanksgiving. What's up, Baromancer? How you doing? Aaron says the Blazers have the good Holiday, but the wrong Murray. Yeah. I mean, they didn't really have a chance to get Keegan, though. Nika just became a starter member. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. See, I don't like having a center that's not a good defensive center. I think it kind of ruins everything we're trying to build, and I don't think if you have a center that can't protect the rim very well, I feel like it's really hard to make a good defense around that player. So, plus I feel like you'd have to give it way too much to get Sabonis, so I'd rather pass on Sabonis. He was at the Kings game today, but he was on earlier for a little bit and said that he only stayed for half the game or something. I think he was just checking out the arena. So I don't know did they come back today. I didn't really look around the NBA at other scores. Got home from work and watched the Blazers. Yeah. Marv's brother played Beat Ball at Willamette. What year was that? It was a long time ago. All right. You keep mentioning players that are not going to get traded, so it's like, I don't know, it's kind of pointless to talk about. You're also mentioning a lot of players that have really high salaries, so I don't know how we're matching that. All right. Well, been a little over 2 hours now. Yeah, Deni was awesome tonight, especially in the first three quarters. Sharpe came in, had a good few minutes, and then fell off. Klingon, Rob Willer, okay. The rest of the team sucked. That's the recap. But yeah, I hope you all have a good Thanksgiving, man. Hope you're all able to enjoy the day. Hopefully most of you have it off. That's funny, Matt. Yes, kind of the questions right now. Yeah, if we didn't have Deni, you'd have zero chances on him, so it's absolutely... That's how it's played out right now. But that's why Deni should be an all-star this year, hopefully. But yeah, hopefully the Blazers can regroup after these 3 days off. I mean, they could have the best practices of all time. Talking about practice, and they could be so good in practice and still get their butts kicked on Sunday because they're playing the Thunder, so it doesn't matter. But hopefully they have some good games, that 3 games in 4 nights, and then on that road trip coming up. And then you got that week where it's yet to be determined what who they're going to be playing now that they're not in the cup game. At least it won't be, in theory, as difficult of a matchup as it would have been had they won their group, I guess. The only silver lining. But still, just a bummer, man, that we couldn't get this one. If we're going to win one game all season, it was definitely would have been awesome to have this one. Yeah. Yeah. But no. Whoa. Power's flickering. I guess that's my sign I need to go. Someone's trying to tell me that the stream's about to end on its own if I don't end it. Oh, Mark played in Pacific University in Forest Grove. Nice. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. So I live out. I don't live in Forest Grove, but I live out that way on the west side. Thank you, Alex. Happy Thanksgiving to you as well. Happy Thanksgiving to all of you out there. Once again, thank you so much. Sorry again about the stream quality, the cutting in and out. But yeah, try my best to fix this stuff on the fly. Like I said earlier, not very good at it. Sorry again about last stream with the ringing sound for 20 plus minutes. Okay. But yeah. Yeah, I mean, Tory will be back for a stream on Sunday, so be back to more normal post-game shows. But it's been fun chilling with you guys, hanging out, all that kind of stuff. And hopefully you all have a nice Thanksgiving. And catch you guys on Sunday. Have a good couple days after Thanksgiving as well. And yeah, enjoy your time. Thanks for watching.